Until just 2 years ago, one very important appearance by him on the U of L campus was frozen in time. Still right here on a WHAS-TV news film reel, just like this one from March of 1967. Well, in fact, not even the folks at U of L had seen or even heard King speaking that day 1 year before his assassination. So I tracked down the people involved to match up this remarkable treasure. Louisville, the summer of 2020. Louisville, the 1970s. The protests over busing and integrating our schools. And Louisville, March 30th, 1967. Protests. The push for our city to open its housing to blacks in all neighborhoods. And the anthem of that protest.
This little light of mine, Lord, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, Lord, I'm gonna let it shine.
Right there that very night as a 16-year-old and now seeing this WHAS 11 news film for the very first time. Former alderman and Metro Council member Sherry Bryant Hamilton.
That's me right here.
So this is you.
Mm-hmm. I used to wear my hair like that. I had on my high school uniform. As a teenager in the open housing movement, I got thrown down the steps of City Hall. And then I come back and I'm an alderman and I'm working in the same chambers where I got thrown out of, so it came full circle.
This is the original WHAS news film, seen on our 6 p.m. news, March 30th, 1967. Civil rights leader Dr. Ralph Abernathy had this message.
But we are sick and tired of being all cramped up in the West End.
The protest is taking place right here, outside Memorial Auditorium at 4th and Kentucky, where a show was underway inside with an all-white audience. Blacks were banned.
There was a headquarters down on 28th Street and open housing signs. We made the signs for the marches.
The signs read, "Neighborhood, Black and White Now," and "Open Housing." Progress, yes, but with regret.
You can change laws, but we didn't change the hearts and minds of the people.
People were hanging from the outside windows. They opened up the windows and they were hanging from the metal grates. I wrote down March 30th, 11 o'clock, M.L. King.
That's when you met him in this room.
Right.
And then he would speak.
And then he spoke.
Louisville attorney Steve Porter grew up in the East End with Republican parents. In his 20s, he was active in the civil rights movement.
Louisville was not a city with a lot of history of lynchings and horrible conduct. It was polite racism.
He went to Alabama for the end of the March on Selma, and it was he, as a U of L law student, who got to Dr. King's brother in Louisville, A.D. King, and invited Martin Luther King Jr. to speak at the U of L Law School. Was it a tense situation on March 30th, 67?
Not on the U of L campus. No, the U of L students were eager to hear him and were very supportive. There was no protests at all.
What did King say? U of L told us they had never seen any film of it, but WHAS 11 was there in the room, and we just found the clip that aired on this station that day. Here's the entire 1 minute and 2 seconds that were broadcast of what he told the students, a close-up of King standing at the podium in the law auditorium.
And we can look in all of our major cities, and we see that one of the major problems is a problem of segregated housing. This is what the demonstrations are all about in Louisville right now. And I think that is no greater danger facing our nation than the constant building up of predominantly Negro central cities ringed by white suburbs. This does nothing but invite social disaster. And this is what is happening in all of our major cities in America because of the adamant refusal on the part of all too many whites to make open housing a reality so that persons can live on the basis of their desires in any area and in any community. But all of this reveals that we have a long, long way to go.
I think he saw Louisville as being a little bit in between Still with a lot of problems, no doubt about that.
How did you feel afterwards?
Just amazed that I was involved, that I was that close to him.
He warned us.
We showed Pastor Bruce Williams of Bates Memorial in Smoketown our film.
Sick and tired of being all cramped up in the West End.
I think he was talking about what Louisville is still dealing with, and that is the lack of attention to West End part of town.
The lessons from 1967 and these words.
We have a long, long way to go.
Him coming gave hope to people who were struggling, but him coming also was an indictment against the way Louisville is. And I think even more important is that we've had some progress in the area of our own understanding of how to address the issues that he addresses in the speech that he gave.
Was your mother saying, Sherry, go on out there. There's another protest there tonight. Go, you need to be there.
We went as a family. So she was my role model.
The impact of the many visits to Louisville of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
It influenced the whole rest of my life, my career. Everything I've done since then has been shaped from those experiences. I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
And she sounds great there. Well, how did we find the film? It was part of a large amount of our news film digitized by the filmmaker Ken Burns when he was in this building working on the Muhammad Ali documentary, which aired in 2021 nationally. As part of our agreement with Ken Burns, he returned it to us in a format that we can air today, now 56 years later.